Greetings, everyone. Well, taking a brief pause from the Halloween fun for a moment here because we got kind of a bombshell of news dropped on us today. Some of you have probably already heard, so I thought I should do a video on the subject before you guys all bombard me with what do you think about this questions. There's no other way to say it. Disney has bought Lucasfilm, lock, stock, and barrel. Done. A $4.05 billion deal. Disney now officially owns all things Lucasfilm. And, of course, that means Star Wars. All things Star Wars now owned by Disney. And it doesn't stop there. As sort of a first step in this new big acquisition of theirs, they're working on Star Wars Episode VII. Yes, a new theatrical film to hit theaters in 2015. Same year as Avengers 2 and the Justice League film. That's going to be a big year for genre fans. So what do I think about all of this? Well, let's talk about it today on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. So, I imagine there's going to be a lot of mixed feelings about this from fans. I mean, I remember when Disney acquired Marvel a few years ago, everybody was like, oh my god, what is this going to mean? Like Mickey Mouse meets Wolverine and crap like that. But no, actually, honestly, I think they've done some pretty good things with the company. I mean, the Avengers movie happened thanks to Disney. That's no small feat. That's something that a lot of fans, I think, didn't think would ever happen. So I know a lot of you may be thinking, Disney in bed with Lucas? That's like Vader sleeping with the Emperor. You know, it's just evil meets evil. It's so much evil. Yeah, no, they're not. They're not evil. They're businessmen. And I mean, on one hand, you may think, what, is Disney trying to be the Microsoft of the entertainment industry, just buy up as many major properties as they can, so basically they'll just own everything? Or, on the other side, is there a little bit more at work here than we realize? I'll include a link down below to the article at cinemablend.com, but let me just read a little piece of this here. This is an actual quote from Lucas himself. For the past 35 years, one of my greatest pleasures has been to see Star Wars passed from one generation to the next, said George Lucas, Chairman and Chief Executive Officer at Lucasfilm. It's now time for me to pass Star Wars on to a new generation of filmmakers. I've always believed that Star Wars could live beyond me, and I thought it was important to set up the transition during my lifetime. I'm confident that with Lucasfilm under the leadership of Kathleen Kennedy and having a new home within the Disney organization, Star Wars will certainly live on and flourish for many generations to come. Disney's reach and experience give Lucasfilm the opportunity to blaze new trails in film, television, interactive media, theme parks, live entertainment, and consumer products. So let's think about that for a moment here. First off, ever since the prequels, fans have been saying George Lucas really needs to hand the reins over to someone else. I mean, you look at, Star Wars, the original, was an independent filmmaker making his dream project. So there's a lot of passion, there's a lot of honesty in that. And then after that, a lot of people feel that Lucas sort of became more of a businessman than a filmmaker. And so with episodes 5 and 6, he basically handed the directorial reins and co-writing reins over to other people. It just sort of gave them the basic outline of the story, and other people took over. And that's what a lot of fans credit as the reason that episodes 5 and 6 are so good. So when Lucas was the king on the throne doing episodes 1, 2, and 3, a lot of fans say that was the reason that episodes 1, 2, and 3 sucked. Because as much of a visionary as he is, he's not a particularly competent storyteller. He has great ideas, but when it comes to sort of fleshing those ideas out, it's best left to other people, collaborators. You know, I mean, art is often a collaborative process, and filmmaking is certainly no exception to that. So here, we actually have Lucas himself saying that he's ready to pass the torch. He's passing the torch over to, the new generation of filmmakers who happen to be working at Disney. Now, as for Disney itself, let's take a look at Disney versus Lucasfilm, and particularly the Star Wars franchise, and sort of how they compare. Okay, on the one hand, you got Disney, who likes to just saturate the market with merchandise tied in with all their various products and franchises. Well, on the other side, you got Lucasfilm, saturating the market with Star Wars merchandise and tie-ins. So really the two aren't that different. So having one in the hands of the other, I really don't think we're going to see much change there. I think we're still going to see just a flood of Star Wars products all over the place anytime there's a new Star Wars movie or TV show or whatever, and it's going to be much the same as it always was. The only difference being we'll have the Disney name on it somewhere, but it's still going to be good old Star Wars. I don't really think there's going to be any difference there. So speaking of new stuff to make merchandise from, we have episode 7 in the works. Now, of course, there's going to be tons of speculation at this point as to what exactly episode 7 is going to be. I've already seen a lot of fans saying, do the Thrawn trilogy! The Timothy Zahn trilogy! Come on! Perfect episode 7, 8, and 9 right there. But then, of course, that begs the question, would all the old actors be willing to come back and reprise their roles? Like, I could definitely see Mark Hamill coming back and maybe doing a few scenes as an older, wiser Luke Skywalker. I don't know that Harrison Ford would come back. Maybe. It's possible. I mean, he came back to Indiana Jones. I really don't see Carrie Fisher coming back. But Billy D. Williams, hey, what's he been doing lately? Yeah, well, maybe. So maybe, yeah, maybe it could happen. I don't know. But I don't think they're going to do the Thrawn trilogy. So this begs other questions. I mean, we have this big news, and all it's done is spawn more questions. So the other big question is, what does this mean for the expanded universe? Because, of course, the expanded universe, you've got stories that for years they've been saying, yeah, these stories are canon. And then if they're not canon, they have the little infinity symbol or what have you on there. Some indication that they're not considered canon to the Star Wars universe. Now, a lot of fans also say, well, if it didn't happen in the movies, it's not canon, period. But other fans really enjoy the expanded universe stuff. And there's, to be honest, there's a ton of good stuff in the expanded universe and some really great continuations of the story. And for years, they've been considered to be canon. Even Lucas himself, or I don't know if it was Lucas himself or just Lucasfilm as a corporation, but has basically branded the expanded universe stuff in two categories. One that's canon, one that's not. So what does that mean for all of this stuff? So if there's a new movie coming out that blatantly contradicts what we've seen in the expanded universe, well, the one camp of fans who says, well, if it doesn't happen in the movies, it's not canon, it's not going to be any skin off of their back. But the ones who have been enjoying the expanded universe stuff may be slightly annoyed. I don't know. But honestly, I don't see them just adapting some 20-year-old novels that fans have enjoyed over the years. I see them doing something different, perhaps borrowing elements. I mean, there's certainly enough rich story elements and universe-expanding stuff in the expanded universe to draw upon. And I can certainly see elements of that being brought into a sequel trilogy. But it remains to be seen what the actual story is going to be, what it's going to focus on. Is it going to focus on the Skywalkers some more? I would think so, since the previous 6 episodes are all about the Skywalker family. Maybe it'll be about the offspring of Luke and Han and Leia and everybody. Be their kids training as Jedis or something and taking down some new evil. I don't know. It remains to be seen. But here's the big thing. As I said before, we're getting what we wanted. We are actually getting what we wanted. Everybody's been saying Lucas needs to be just put aside as, the idea man and let the actual filmmaking be done by other people. That's exactly what we're getting. So really, when you actually sit down and think about this, I don't think this is a bad thing at all. I think it could actually be what the Star Wars franchise needs at this point. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, well, just leave it as the original trilogy and leave it at that. Like, they're classics, they had their day, let them die. But no, God damn it, I don't want Star Wars to die. I mean, I think it's a huge, rich universe with tremendous potential. It remains to be seen what's going to happen, but do I think that Disney acquiring Lucasfilm is a bad thing? Honestly, no, I don't. I think in a lot of ways this is giving us what we've been wanting for a long time, and only good can come of it. I think Disney has a proven track record. I call Marvel the testing ground, if you will. I think they've done terrific things with Marvel. Now, if they would just give us the 90s Spider-Man series on DVD, we'd all be very happy here in Region 1 land. But that's another story. So that's essentially my thoughts in a nutshell. I think it's great, and I think we're going to see some really exciting things down the line. So good on Lucas for actually sort of seeing the light and realizing that maybe it was time to pass the torch. I think this is one of the smartest and most potentially fan approving things that Lucas has done in a very long time, and I think it's great. I mean, I would certainly be happy to see him kept on in an advisory capacity, at least just a consultant or whatever. I mean, it's his baby, it's his universe, he created it, so it would be nice to have him involved in some way, just not as the man in charge of the project, because we've seen how that goes. So yeah, onward and upward with further great stories in the Star Wars universe. I, for one, can't wait to see Episode 7. I think it has tremendous potential. And really, I think that's the story we've all been wanting to see, is what happens after. What happens later? We didn't really care so much about what happened before. I mean, we had enough allusions to that in the original trilogy. We didn't need it spelled out for us. But whatever, it's there. It's forever a part of the official canon of Star Wars, whether you like it or not. I think I covered pretty much all the points that immediately sprang to mind. Let the discussion and debating begin. Until next time, folks, thanks for watching, and sayonara.